Welcome back to another live stream on the twitch.tv/the Xisuma. Believe all the buttons have been pressed, all the dials have been turned. We're good to go. We're good to go. Diplodocus says, what a troll. You know, I'm known for my trolling, but I've only just started streaming and apparently I'm already trolling, so guess I'm doing good. Guess I'm doing good over here, jeez. Getting called a troll. Getting called a troll. Jay Lemmy, thank you for the bananas. Winnie T. Ford, appreciate it. Appreciate it. I don't need sand particularly right now, but I just figured I'd do something mindless and gather some for the future, right? Got things I want to get off my chest today, let's say that. Got things I want to get off my chest. Been thinking about it a lot. Chess? Off my chest? Have I got chess on my brain still? Playing chess yesterday. You know, making a fool of myself on a live stream. I love that game. It's so intriguing and interesting. Yet when I play it on stream, I can't focus or think the same way I would if I were just playing with a friend or whatever, right? You know, listening to some music, concentrating, thinking about your moves, examining the board while they're taking a turn. All of that stuff, I can't do it while I'm nattering. And I feel like when I stream, I've got to natter. So, yeah, I'm going to keep doing the chess live streams. They're fun if people want to watch, but I kind of want to get better, and I don't think that streaming is the way to get better at it. But, you know, maybe I'll find a way. Maybe I'll figure out a way where I can balance it and be a bit more thoughtful and stream and play. Who knows? Anyway, for those of you that have seen the chess live streaming, like, it's just having a bit of fun, right? I would have never have thought of that, you know? Would have never have thought of, oh yeah, I'll just stream chess and people will come and watch, like. But no, people are watching. They're watching the chess. It's popular. Oh, there we go. Corrales is on. Papa K in the house. We got Lucaro1357 here for 27 months. My goodness me, that's a long time. Thank you for putting up with me all these years, and I appreciate your support. Appreciate it. Thank you. So you can see we've got some shoulder boxes here to fill up. Xisuma, do you think that your storage tower entrance looks like a pufferfish face at all? Off the top of my head, not really. A lot of things can look like a face if they have like 3 square / circular sort of shapes, right? Oh, yeah. I'm using that. That's why that slot's missing. I'm literally using it right now. I should not be confused. When is my next video coming out? Next Hermitcraft episode is on Monday. You could join an online chess tournament. That's really not a bad idea. Just, you know, join one, and I'll do that off camera though, right? And see how far along I get, you know? Probably get my butt kicked, but whatever. The Raging Kumquat is here with the Prime. Thank you ever so much. Appreciate it. At the moment, I got more time to do little things like that because January is the slow month, and I'm doing stuff around the house. But I'm also not playing guitar and not working out because of injuries. So, like I've actually got a bit more time to kind of do whatever I want, in a ways. So maybe playing a little bit of chess here and there would be fun. Xisuma, will you ever do a setup tour, says Calma? My next episode of Hermitcraft features a picture of my work area because I have now, since taking that picture, ripped out my old desk, ripped out my DAW, disassembling everything. I'm going to get a new carpet in here. My mate who, I was going to say is a carpenter. It's not the term, is it? Carpet layer. I'm not sure what the official title is, but he does carpets, and he did a lot of my house last year, and he's doing like this room. So I'm redoing it. I'm getting a new desk in here, and I've got a new monitor for my computer. And you know, I thought I'd show you the before and after, since I never really showed the before at any point. So that's in my latest episode of Hermitcraft. Let's go through these noises. We got Jellyman2001 for 10 months. Hodo D here for 9 months. Appreciate it. Carpenter, not carpenter. Carpenter. Yeah, okay, that could be it. Makes a lot of sense, right? Bit similar to Carpenter. How did you combine the Optifine and Shulker Box viewer mods? The assumption is that I'm using Optifine there, so there's your answer. What are you doing for episode 1000? Something special that I've been planning for a long time. That's what I'll say. You know, you'll see it. We'll get there eventually, right? I hope. Amber D Dragonfire says, "Hey X, I'm having a rough day, and here's hoping it goes up from here." I hope it goes up as well. I've had a bit of a rough 24 hours. Well, not that many hours. Is it like 16? I don't know, but I'm sure many of us here have. Which is something I want to talk about a little bit later. Thegley is here with Cheers and Bits, saying, "First stream in a long time, I am able to watch." Well, glad to have you with us. Glad to have you with us. Thank you for those cheers and bits. The support is always appreciated. Where does your username originate from? Says Gig Leah. It originates from music. If you make music backwards and then change the X to a C, you'll start to see where it comes from. Been really enjoying listening to music lately. I mean, I always do, right? But just started a new musical journey listening to the Cockatoo Twins, and I'm just excited for what's to come. But first couple of records that I've listened to, really interesting. Xisuma, do you have a day job or is your YouTube full time? Yeah, this is my full time job, streaming and YouTubing. Has been for like 9 years. Oh, by the way, today is technically my 9-year anniversary of signing up to Twitch. I mean, it's not the first time that I streamed 9 years ago, but I signed up 9 years ago. Boy, have the years flown by, eh? We got Rebecca here with Cheers and Bits. Happy 9th Twitch anniversary. Now, I reckon that it takes a moment to type out a Twitch message. Did you do that before I said it? Either way, thank you so much. And thank you for all the congratulations and all that sort of stuff in chat. Yeah, it's not really like... I'm not one to celebrate milestones to begin with. But it's not really much of a milestone anyway, because it's just like the day that I signed up. Like, there's a date that I signed up my YouTube account, which I don't really care much for. I do like to celebrate or, you know, have that moment to reflect on the 25th of September where it's like, okay... Remember all those years ago what was going on, and then you uploaded the first video, you never would have thought all of this would have happened. So it's nice to celebrate that. We got Pyro Burnium here, gifting the subs. Appreciate it. Thank you for supporting our community. Skivinky01, Ugen, Clarif72, Keki Mu, Lords of Kings, Maud Decay, Off Manor 1, Dussers, Mox, The Foolie, and Mr. Foodrama. We've also got Thegley here gifting some subs as well. Thank you for supporting the community. It is appreciated. If you had to choose between running in a sprint race or running a marathon, which one would you pick? I'd pick a sprint race because I've never ran a marathon. I've never really done too much long distance stuff. I've done a 10k and I've run my own like personal... I think like 12.5k might have been the most I've done. This summer I might go for it though. I might go for some extended runs because I've kept the running up and I've been working on it and all that. So who knows? Who knows? Could be a thing that I do while I figure out these injuries with my arm. Anyway, Thegley, thank you again for gifting the subs. Sweet Sandy, Dan I Am 314, Caboose KA, Sven Lu, Steve Era 69. We also got Pyro gifting more subs to Silverwinds. Thank you so much, Pyro. And Rebecca 11's here with the gifted subs. Thank you so much. Dina Rice, Kipper 86, Captain Taco Face, Silbana Wolf, and DRC 90. Thank you for supporting the community as always, Rebecca. It's appreciated. We got Satan here. Satan's here. Hi, Satan. Gifting a sub to Mountain J. Thank you again. Appreciate the support. Jeez, old Satan chipping in with a gifted sub. You know, where's God at? What are you doing, God? Eh? You gifting any subs? Oh dear. Man, I had this weird feeling like I just saw a name tag. Well, I say a feeling, like I thought I saw a name tag, I guess. And it's like, nope, nothing there. Gonna have to fill this shulker box up soon. Have you seen The Queen's Gambit? Highly recommend it if you're into chess. Well, that's what kind of pulled me back to it, right? I've always liked chess, and then watching that show just kind of made me go, I want to play some chess. It's awesome. Someone's saying, would have been funny if Satan had gifted it to me. I can't actually see your username because it's black, so it just disappears into the background of the Twitch chat. Xisuma is the David Attenborough of Minecraft for me, says Egley. I appreciate that. That's a very kind comment. He's got a new show coming out. I've got the trailer for it bookmarked, but I haven't watched it yet. Ah! Oh God, creeper! No! No! Oh! Uncle! Oh! No! Oh, jeez. Oh God! Oh! Oh, the panic! Am I alive? I'm alive. It's okay, peeps. Don't panic. Whoa. Whoa. Oh, jeez. That could have been deadly. There was a creeper. There was a skeleton. I fell. Everything could have gone wrong. We got noises in the ear. We got Dark Loki 253 here with the Prime, and we got Dark Loki again gifting a sub to Queen GG. Thank you so much for the gifted sub. As always, appreciate those. Supporting the community, giving subs to peeps who don't have it, always a nice thing to do. That kind of actually reminds me of something I want to do at the moment, right? So I didn't ring, a local school to find out if I could donate, right? This is a bit of a long-winded thing, but like a bunch of computer screens and like Raspberry Pis or something like that. So here's the thing, right? I have been using Ubuntu lately, just to wipe an old hard drive or two on an old computer that I'm going to get rid of. That computer supports 3 monitors, has a sound card for creating music with, but like to get it to someone who's going to make use of that is very specific and therefore kind of unlikely. So I had this kind of like eureka idea today of getting like a Raspberry Pi, attaching it to the monitor, and making a little computer that runs Ubuntu. And you know, and like get it in the hands of kids that don't have computers, because at the moment here in the UK, you know, we've got lockdown going on and kids are locked out from the online courses because they don't have access to computers. So I was thinking, well, this is a great little project, because what I would like to do is for those monitors to actually be put to use. The last thing I want to see is the computer hardware and stuff just like end up in the tip or not get used. So I can give the computer away to a charity store, that's no problem, but like the 3 monitors, it's probably better to separate those from the computer and then turn them into little workstations that some kids could use. But speaking to the local school, they're not interested in it because it means, like, you know, they got a whole system set up for how they give computers to students and what type of software is on there, which is probably going to be Windows, and how people are trained up to teach and use it, right? So I want to look in to see if there's some charities or something happening in the UK where they'll accept and help get those in the hands of some kids. Because I tell you what, kids today with smartphones, they're smart. Using Ubuntu, like, it'll come pre-installed with Zoom on it. They know how to boot it up and click on the Zoom button, and there you go. They're in the lesson. So, I want to find out if I can do that and get that in the hands of some kids. It'd be a cool way to put those things to use and to learn a bit more Linux and get those computers set up for them. And if it turns out I can do that, pretty sure my parents have probably got a couple of old monitors knocking about, and you know, may lead to doing a few things more in that direction. But that's, I really like the idea of that, because when you throw stuff away, I hate the idea of it going to the tip. And if there's a way you can get what you've got to someone who needs it, that's where the value is, in my opinion. So yeah, hoping to try and do something with that. Really cool way to Oh, apparently the Raspberry Pi is too weak for video calls, even the latest. Ah, well, I appreciate you saying that, because that throws a quite important flag up, I guess. I'm a bit surprised they would struggle to handle video calls. I mean, bandwidth isn't an issue. Rendering is surely easy. I guess I could get one and test it out myself. We have local refugee help centres. We gifted our old bikes and computers to them. School rucksacks and stuff. Damn, yeah, like I've got loads of things that just... I want to get to people that need them or could use them, and you never know which way to go about it. I've got loads of old keyboards that I don't use, you know, mouses, like... just accumulate junk over time, but it's, you know, one man's junk is another's gold, right? Like, and... in this society, things feel very structured and set up to you know, throw away what you don't need and buy what you do. And I'd much rather that when I don't need something anymore, someone else makes use of it than it go in the tip. So, and if there's people that need it, you know, for schoolwork and stuff, just seems like a great sort of win-win combination. So anyway, I'll look more into that and see what certain charities accept or what organisations are after and what's possible, and who knows, might report back with a bit of a story later on. Hey, we've got them sent off and some kids are using them, you know, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. Right, let's read some noises in the ear. Average Mine is here gifting subs to Napoli, Speedy Koala. Oh goodness me. Oh, burping. Joel Kip is here gifting a sub. Sorry, not gifting. Too many gifted subs. I'm on the wrong brain path. 62 months of support. Thank you ever so much. Evil X right there. Evil X in the chat. Just got a casual old Evil X tuning in for some Hermitcraft, I see. We got Feemy here for 7 months. Lizzie Bess here for 43. X Shaggy here for 11. Marks the Mellow here for 6 months. Did you know the PogChamp emote was removed from Twitch? I did not know, but now I do. JN72 for 15. Thank you as always for your support, peeps. We also got Rebecca gifting another 5 subs to George Tan, Mr. Grunt, Win Gaming YT, Fireblast 950, Sven or 121. Appreciate it. Thank you ever so much. I think what we'll do now, chat, is we'll take a moment to pause and pivot to another topic of conversation. Okay. I don't really know where or how to start with this conversation, but there were events taking place in America yesterday that for many of us were rather startling, let's say. To some of you, though, perhaps it was a good thing that happened. I've been thinking and reflecting on what I saw for the last, you know, however many hours that it's been, slept on it. And I've come to this, and I feel like it's what I've said time and time again, right? We are currently living separated from one another with entirely different perceptions of what reality is. It's a technological issue, it's a social issue, it's fueled by social media, and people don't share a common understanding of events and facts anymore. We don't have the same realities. Now, notice that I'm not saying one side doesn't have that. I'm saying both. I think this is something that affects both sides and stops people from communicating with one another. We are all entitled to have different opinions and views on the world from one another. But what I think is really important is that we don't lose sight of the fact that we're neighbours, that we coexist on this world together, and that we're not enemies, and we shouldn't be so pitted against each other, which is where we've ended up for whatever you think the reasons are. And we need to find a way to communicate with one another, and that it's just not happening. It's just not happening. So I could comment on the nature of the events, how I perceive them, how I perceive they're going to be different, but you'll probably already have your own opinion on that, right? You'll have your own take on what you saw and how it fits into your own worldview. I'm saying I've got a worldview and it fits into mine. But there is just a lack of ability to communicate from one side to the other. So my experience yesterday was learning about it through Twitter, but my Twitter connects me to a left-leaning Twitter. And I've seen like studies and visual representations of connectivity on Twitter based on political bias. And it is like a cloud of red on one side and a cloud of blue on the other, and hardly anything in the middle. This means when you see the events unfolding on Twitter, people sharing videos and pictures, because this is how news gets, you know, shared and transcribed, you're just seeing the take on it. We're obviously seeing the same things, but it also comes with the take, the what does this mean? And you don't get exposed to other people's perception on that. And I was watching a lot of news from like The Independent, the BBC, The Sun, some of the American ones as well, all sort of broadcasting this similar narrative around what's happened. And so then I go out of my way to find some other leaning stuff, like Breitbart was one of them, and it was totally different what was experiencing looking at the other news source. And it just reinforced the fact that, yeah, these events happen, and then there are totally different ways of seeing them. And I'm not trying to judge and say one way's wrong or one way's right. I think what's important is understanding it's not about sides, that we're all being affected by this, and realizing that, you know, I believe the cure to some of these problems is the ability to communicate with one another, which we seem to be lost from right now. When we communicate with one another, we see our humanity, we get to understand perspectives, we can discuss ideas and see how other people see things differently from us, and that can all be done in a civil way, and you can agree to disagree. But this is perpetuating this tribalism that doesn't make it like that. It makes it awfully aggressive and emotionally fueled. You know, people are furious and angry about everything that's happening, and maybe they should be, but that fury and anger just is a wall between making any progress from our current position to a better one. And one of the things that happens is that the slam dunking, as I've come to know it, to be called by people that use it and to people that don't. I've also developed the term people gawking for when we have our, you know, our Karen memes being shared on Reddit, where we take someone obviously not in a great situation and everyone gets to slam dunk on them and talk about how awful they are in this situation. Well, that's what happens when these events happen and the event is shared, is that everyone's putting down their slam dunk on it as well. I saw so many tweets that were like referencing the current event to different events in the past, like the Black Lives protests, and then talking about hypocrisies between the different takes on events. As soon as you go over to the other side of the fence and listen to what those people are saying, you don't have to agree with it, but you can certainly see how these slam dunk tweets aren't going to help anyone. It doesn't relate to the way other people are perceiving the events. And so this culture of like showing the worst of each other and constantly slam dunking and playing the old logic, you know, defeated by facts and logic, clickbait, it's just ruining everything, I feel like. And it's kind of heartbreaking, because the past 5 to 6 years, even longer than that really, this is all steadily creeping up, and then the last 4 years particularly, it's been a series of events that has deepened the divide over and over again, and to the point where I feel like probably around the election this year that it's kind of set in my mind that, oh, this is like, nothing really can shock you anymore. But it will. Yesterday's event shocked me, but I wouldn't be surprised if something worse happens after this. Because I don't see the direction changing at all. It's just a constant case of division, and all these events and things that are happening are just perpetuating these problems. And so as to, you know, take it back a step to the whole concept of like slam dunking on one another. No one wants to be slam dunked on. If you've got a political opinion it's going to be a far better and healthier thing if you have a genuine conversation with someone, discussing ideas and looking at things from different perspectives, than getting the barrage of hate with the slam dunk and the "you said this, but you know previously you said that." And I think that hypocrisy, when we point it out, we kind of forget that it's quite easy to be hypocritical. So often when events happen, you have an emotional response and then you try to use logic to back it up and make your point. But it's not the logic that comes first. So you look for the thing to fit the mold. This thing happens and then you find the reasons and the arguments that back up your feeling. And then that event can happen in a similar context from the people on your air quotes side, and then all of a sudden your own logic and reason doesn't hold up anymore. And so it creates this constant division of people looking at the other side like they're not human, they're not smart, saying horrible things about each other, and all it ever does is fuel the situation and make it worse, right? Yes, you can support anything with logic, says Prutz. You know, logical reasoning, sometimes it's not even good logic, but yeah, you can find a reason to support anything. Reasoning is not often as good as you think it might be, I guess. And so when you use these ideas of, oh, I'm thinking clear and logically and reasonably, you might miss how emotionally fueled your views are on things. And then it just extends itself to this environment where we're high-fiving each other for having the same type of view and slam dunking on someone who doesn't, all around this idea of logic, and sort of missing the point that we're all emotional and that we're not properly communicating to each other. It's getting worse, and yesterday's events were not only like hard to look at because things like that, you know, are generally difficult to look at and see, you know, the unrest and disruption, but like when does this start to U-turn and go in the other direction? When are there going to be signs of this is going to start to fix itself? You know, we're all living in very different information ecospheres, or whatever you want to call them. We're segregated from one another. We're fed completely different forms of reality based on events that happen because of social media and the way that information spreads for it. And the signs of this changing are not in sight. They're not in sight at all. And it's scaring. It's getting scary. You know, it's getting really scary. And I'll turn it over to chat here now. We'll take a moment to read chat and see if we get some interesting points of view. One thing I want to point out is that I have, as you know, a left-leaning bias, but I've avoided from saying all the things that people on the left would say about yesterday's events, because it is in no way, in my opinion, it doesn't feel productive to say any of that. Everyone's already shouting at each other, and we need to get away from this idea that when the event happens, it's about, oh, pointing a finger and you're wrong, and more about we need to communicate to fix this stuff. I'm not making excuses or playing the look the other way game or anything like that. I think just what's currently happening is just so unbearable. Apparently Twitch has been banning creators for saying stuff about it since yesterday. Okay. I feel like everything I've said is reasonable. I haven't tried to cast anyone or say anything negative against any group of people, right? I think this is a reasonable discussion. So Richmond says we just need to remove Trump from office and things will get back in order. See, that I don't see that as a solution at all, because there are people rallied around this man who have brought into the things that he's said, and he's already on his way out and things are getting worse. It could spark something a whole lot worse when he is actually out. Got a couple of people saying just play Minecraft. I get it, you didn't tune in here for that. If you didn't, you can always tune out. I'll be done with this discussion before long. I think they must be shown that Trump is a very bad person, says Jerp. You got to realise how different their portrayal of someone is. Like, this is what I'm saying. Social media, like, it's easy to think you're wrong, I'm right. It's harder to realise that people have got really different versions of reality and are not talking to each other. Y'all have listened to my streams before and probably know what I think about Trump. Saying that doesn't change anything for someone who supports him. And we still have these completely different realities, and it's fueled by social media, this separation where our biases just get incredibly exaggerated. Chat is moving very fast. I am trying to pick out some messages. One message in chat says the people that stormed the building were not Trump supporters but fake Trump supporters. I don't know for what reason you believe that, i.e. does that therefore make an excuse for the events that happened? I don't know, but like, I don't know what to say about that. It's clearly, this is like going back to the Black Lives Matter things and protests that I said earlier in the year or last year, where you had you know, protests turn ugly and clashes happen with police and, you know, property damage. And again, people like to fit things to their worldview, so you had a whole group of people coming out saying the protests are wrong, they're rioting, it's this and that. And what I said at the time is like, yeah, a whole bunch of people can go to a protest, to a cause, to a rally like they did yesterday, and some people can step over the line and do things that we don't agree with, like use violence, or storm the Capitol building, which I don't agree with. You also got to realise that that's not what everyone there is doing, and so I think it is unfair to talk about it as if the whole crowd is that one thing. There are obviously a lot of people clearly involved in this, which is alarming and kind of scary. This is actually the chest that I need. I'm going to pick that up. But it's better to be more particular, because then it's going to be very easy to paint a brushstroke with a statement you're saying. Again, this happens on Twitter in the form of slam dunking, where you take the whole camp of the other side and you paint them all as that one thing. I bet you there were probably thousands and thousands of people there, I don't know what the total number is, maybe hundreds of thousands, that didn't participate in the part where the line was crossed, right? The line is probably where the barricades are, when people started pushing them back and fighting the police and making their way into the building. Those people are crossing a line. There may be people there that chose not to participate in that activity, yet you'll end up painting them in the same stroke, and it all just feeds into this whole nature of event happens and then everyone's shaping it into their worldview. It's really dangerous, because it just keeps pushing people further and further apart. The so-called 1%, every group has the extreme, says DRC. Yeah. Yeah, and the amount of people was kind of alarming as well. I'm not trying to downplay how many people there were or not. I haven't looked into it, studied video, tried to get accurate assessment. It's just the nature of seeing those kind of events, right? Like if you're watching protests in a street and the only source of camera footage you've got is feet on the ground filming over the tops of people's heads as to trying to show you what's happening further down the road, that doesn't give you as clear a picture as a helicopter flying over the top of the building in the sky, right? I need some dirt here before we get going, and some sand as well, actually. So trying to discuss particulars ends up just feeding into, you know, the sort of proportionalism that means people bicker and fight over what's acceptable or not, because everyone, again, just gets pushed back into their camp, their side. That's why discussing this stuff is super tricky, because it so quickly just turns into whose side are you on and what you're trying to say. And it's just really disheartening. Yesterday was just another day going in the wrong direction. That's the way I saw it. Another day where things don't go too well, because it just fuels the problem. The environment we have is just, things like this just fuel it and make it worse, you know. Sorensen says they did the same thing on 9/11 where they took over every channel. 9/11, one of the deadliest days in history? I'm not sure you could say it's one of the deadliest days in history. People died, that's always a tragedy, not trying to minimise that, but I mean, there have been some horrific events happening around the world. I mean, not to say 9/11 wasn't horrific, but like, that's how media coverage works, right? It gets hysterical, and sometimes it seems like with good reason. I don't know what to say. The Earth still has a lot of uneducated people making social media very powerful, says Pataka. Yeah, that's another point to point out as well, is ignorance and lack of knowledge on things. There are a lot of people that speak out on Twitter about things they don't know about. Some of you will say to me, I don't know what I'm talking about. Sometimes that's said just because you disagree with someone. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. I always try to put my ignorances forward, right? And of all the things I've said today, hopefully I've highlighted that it's about the ignorance. It's about not talking to each other. It's about perceiving things differently to fit your world narrative. Those are all ideas. I'm not saying this is what happened at the event. I'm saying this is how the event gets perceived. So one's own ignorance, different forms of idea, and, you know, different lines of reasoning, they shape that. People should not be stuck to their current beliefs till the end of their lives. They should be able to change their opinion on a subject provided someone persuades them. This is my view on this topic. There is no wrong or right side. Both of them most of the time have advantages and disadvantages. Peter Games, I am in a very similar camp to you on that one. I think, yeah, you should always be open to change and to better reasoning. No matter how entrenched you are or how firmly you believe in anything, really, if someone can open you up to a better way of seeing things, then you get to participate in that, in the better way of doing something. If you've been kicking yourself in the head for 10 years to find out that kicking yourself in the head is not good for your health, then it's better to get on the other side than to hold your pride and act as if no, even though everyone's telling me it's wrong to kick myself in the head, I'm going to continue doing it because I don't want to be wrong. Being wrong is a blessing a lot of the time. Lets you know, hey, this is the right path to walk now. Glad I found out. Glad I found out. Be careful with what news you're reading. Oh wow, chat is moving so fast I can't even pick out a short sentence. Yeah, I mean, all news is biased, right? But the thing with bias is you got to remember, it's not like, oh, you're just reading some news source that's biased. Everything is a bias. Perception of reality is a bias. It's all bias. Very little things are free of bias. Even science has its biases in how it's done and performed. Anyway, chat is getting pretty heated. It's getting back and forth. Look. Here's my message, Charlie. If you've got someone who's on that other side of your opinion, okay, don't get into that mindset of what's wrong with this person and hypocrisy and ignorance and like that slam dunking culture of Twitter. Try to be patient, try to be calm, try to find a common ground, a way to talk about something, maybe just a shared interest. Like, this stuff ain't gonna get better until people start talking to one another. It ain't gonna get better until, you know, we're not so polarized and opposite from one another. That's what I'll say. I think we'll have to move on because chat's pretty heated. And I think I got all of that off of my chest, which is what I wanted to do, because it was just so... Yesterday was so disheartening. It really kind of rubbed me the wrong way and reminded me of, like, quite a few years ago when I used to watch a lot of news and get really sucked into it and constantly feel this sense of doom and gloom, and I needed a little distraction from that yesterday, so we did the chess live stream. Oh! Oh! Visitor! Hello. Goodbye. I thought I heard an odd sound. Let's go get some sand. I don't even care if I'm like doing everything slow and awkward. I'm just... Let's just do something, you know? Right, I'm done. I'm done with talking about it. So, chat, if you'll appreciate that. We had a chat. I tried to pick out some things, read some messages, a lot of opinions floating around, and just let's leave it at that. And that's off my chest. Hopefully, that's been of use to some of you listening. And we'll focus on some other stuff, playing some Minecraft now. And I'm thankful, by the way, thankful for all of you listening. It really helps to have a place to put your voice and get it off your chest. So I appreciate all of y'all sticking with me and just having a listen to what I had to say. JN72 is here for 15 months in a row. Thank you so much. We got Casavin69 asking what I'm grinding for. I'm just grinding for progress, right? Like, there's jobs that need doing, and I'm just going to be doing them. That's essentially where I'm at right now. And so one of the things I wanted to do was just tidy up the entrance to this whole area with the beach. Just knock out some bits of grass like here. And just get it reasonably tidy, so when you kind of come over the area, it's like, oh, everything looks good. And I think that's most of the... Oh, there's a little bit. There's a little bit. We'll keep it sandy around here. That's what we'll do. We'll keep it sandy. Grinding for progress. That sounds like a good bio. Yeah, I guess it could do. Yeah. I mean, that's it really. It's like we're just doing grindy jobs that will progress everything forward. So it's a pretty apt description, I guess. Food Talk says, Discolate Kangaroo, you know I like to talk about food. All I got to say at the moment is, for the last few days I've been eating way more fats than carbs. And I think I'm just going to try a little bit of low carb for a while and see how I feel. It's kind of nice. Kind of nice changing up your diet, you know. Been having loads of peanuts and peanut butter and stuff like that instead of rice. And yeah, just trying to swing it. I'm not going to go super hardcore about it. I'm just going to see if I feel any kind of difference or notice any change. You do have to do this stuff for a while to really notice anything, so it's not going to be a particularly effective or great test, if you like, because I'm still going to have my occasional curries. Tomorrow I'm going to order a burrito. Like, I don't think I've ever had a proper Mexican burrito before, and now that I've been using these apps like Just Eat and Deliveroo, it's like, oh, could try that if I wanted to, you know. So enjoy something a little different. And yeah, like, I know the bread on a burrito is going to be full of carbs, right? So not that strict about it. I like almonds, says Project Fayers. Yeah, I had a load of almond butter today. Gorgeous stuff. Wonderful. We got noises in the ear to read. We got Marmot95 here for 16 months. Cole DOD 2 here for 6. Surprise T here for 36 months. Saying, I feel a burnout about politics. No matter what I think or say or do, the events will unfold as the world anyway. The US president is one of the most powerful figures in the world, and neither you or me can even vote for them because we don't live in the US. Sure, sure. As for a burnout, I feel it. I've felt it so much lately. You know this stuff's going to get uploaded to my Talkie channel. I'm going to upload less stuff there, I think. I'm going to wait until I really feel like I can articulate myself on some form of subject or whatnot. But as of late, I have just felt a bit of a kind of sense of burnout from these things that just happen over and over again. I can understand that. We all get tired of stuff, and it is naturally quite tiring because it's burdensome. But as for not having, you know, like with the president being a very powerful figure and thinking of yourself as someone who's not, you know, there are remarkable people in history who have come from origins that have no power or perhaps no direct path to making a huge influence on the world, but they can do. And it's not so much that if you try to, you will. It's more a case of kind of like, to use myself as an analogy, me as a YouTuber, it's not that I do something exceptional and therefore I'm a YouTuber. It's that I had something to offer and I kind of got lucky in being able to show it to people, right? And I didn't even realise that was the case. It just kind of happened. If you don't actively try to do something, then it can never happen. So if you tell people that they don't have power and influence, that essentially dissuades people from believing that they could. Really what you need is for people to be engaged in good faith in these things, and with enough people being engaged, these changes, they can make a difference. If you listened to me today and perhaps you agreed with what I had to say and you're thinking, oh, you know, like, I never hear anyone talk like that, that'll never make a difference. Well, I listen to like a lot of podcasts with people who feel the same way, and I hear there are these people that are aware of the problems with social media, like the recent Netflix documentary. If those people thought they could never make a difference, then I might have not heard that. I think even though you feel like you're just, I don't know, one person and there's only one other person listening to what you're doing, for example, it's still, I think it's still valuable to pursue it if it interests you. Because you never know, like, the more people talk about this or pursue something, the more chances of it happening, right? There's zero chance of a scientific breakthrough if all the scientists go, it won't be me that figures it out. Right? That's a good analogy right there. There's no chance. If no science is being done, we're not going to get any scientific breakthroughs. It's the same with politics and stuff and ideas. No one's trying, it won't get done. So it's not about thinking that your thoughts and ideas are going to change the world. It's just you should pursue that because of what it already is, and not let these ideas to put you down sort of dominate the narrative, I guess. That's how I feel about that. We got more noises in the air. Temp 1029 is here for 54 months. After the events in my country over the last 24 hours, I need an X stream today. Thanks for being here. Thank you for resubscribing. I appreciate it. Those events meant I needed to stream as well. You know, I need to get it off my chest. So thanks for listening. We got Epic Destroyer here for 3 months. Armored Monkey here for 31th. 31th! A new term has been invented. The 31th. The 31th. We've got Angry K9 here with Cheers and Bits saying random bits, blame the cat. Thank you so much, Angry K9. I owe you a game of chess. Thank you, my dude. Appreciate it. That's all that sand tidied up. That's literally all I needed over there. We got Duckers Gaming TV here with the Prime. Calvin 3518 has subscribed with the Prime as well. Appreciate it, Calvin. Thank you. So over here, what we'll do, this stuff will turn to dirt, will it? I can't remember if this is fixed in this version of Minecraft. That's our experiment. We need to find out if that stuff is fixed or not. So I guess we'll come over here and do just some more filling in for now. Some more filling in. Calvin 3518, did I just read it out? Thank you for the Prime. Speevy YT here for 3 months, and Zony Alive has subscribed. Thank you as always for your support, peeps. It is appreciated. Seasawn says, I'm a big fan. Oh, really? What's your diameter? Oh! Oh, terrible joke. Shut up, X. Go away. Go away. Sony Alive says, I figured I should subscribe at this point. Well, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate it. Congrats on getting top 10 on Grian's top bases list, says Cakes Like Cake. Yeah, I didn't expect that, but I was certainly humbled by it. It was nice to go on a top list. It always is. You know, when like fans do that and make their top list videos or whatever, I always have a little look. Everyone likes to be on a list like that every now and then, right? But yeah, it was cool. It was a really nice video as well. I enjoyed watching it and all the things Grian had to say. Opinions on the Twitch Pog ban, says Dryder. I don't even know what that is. What is the Twitch Pog ban? Are they banning players of the game? Is that what they're doing? Because I'm playing the game right now. Jeez, I hope I don't get banned. Extra sense of humour is terrible, says Victor. I think that's the point. I think that is the point of my sense of humour, to be terrible. It's like, look, an opportunity to be awful. Do it. Do it right now. Java or Bedrock, says the unknown players. Obviously Bedrock, come on now. Come on now, I play Bedrock all the time. When have you ever seen me make a Java video? Come on now. Right, that is my tea cold, so now I'm going to drink some water. So apparently, I'm gathering that the Pog face was used in promoting events happening yesterday, so Twitch went, we're pulling it. Which is fair enough, it's their platform for them to do what they want to do. But I bet you know, that decision will get praised by some, lauded by others, and it will just fit into people's worldviews again. There's a lot of tech is left kind of talk and chatter out there, and again, events happen and then everyone's take on them just fits into their worldview. I mean, it's up to Twitch really what they want to do. It's their platform. I've had some interesting changes of view with this kind of stuff. Okay, so where I've ran my own community in the past, I've occasionally had to deal with certain things needing to be censored or banned, moderation, people causing problems, and I initially just sort of had this let's just be free and tolerate one another kind of perspective, and then seeing how that kind of doesn't work a lot of the time. I think in communities you do need a level of moderation and authority, and for people to respect that. And what I see often in my community, or maybe even here on Twitch in the chat, is that some people struggle to respect authority. And in the bigger picture, what I'm talking about right now doesn't extend to policing and ideas like this. But within something that's small and, let's say, more insignificant, some people have a real hard time with when a moderator turns around and says, don't do this or don't do that. And quite quickly can they elevate it to like, oh, freedom of speech, I can say what I want. And a lot of the time it's like moderators can just smell trouble coming. And if you just listen to them and go along, even if you think you didn't cross a line or do anything wrong, they're just there to de-escalate and to just put the brakes on something going in the wrong direction. And if people are to, within this community, like just respect that, okay, occasionally you're going to be told, hey, you know, let's not talk about this, let's not do that, and you'll disagree with it, but if you go along, it's better for everyone. Okay, and again, I consider what we have here to be an inconsequential thing. In the broader scope of world politics and political views and opinions, yeah, maybe something like that can be dangerous, the old quiet down. But within small communities, it can be massively beneficial for people who have the authority to be able to just use it to basically stop conflicts from happening. And I've seen that happen in some big ways in my community, and I've seen my community fracture several times. These are like common and recurring things in online groups that somehow like little in-groups always tend to form, and then you know, disruption happens. It's one of the reasons I made my Discord server private and I shut down the plot world was just, as I got less and less engaged with those communities, it became more and more difficult and disheartening to have this like extended burden of like, oh, here's a fire over here, you need to come put out again. I mean, not that I was even putting them out half the time, but yeah, like, and they're just small things. They often just start with small things. One person doesn't get along with someone else, and then ultimately a moderator has to say, well, you go stand in the corner, kind of thing, right? And if you don't realize that it's for the benefit of everyone and not personal, then it gets like, it gets bigger, it gets inflated, it becomes a problem. You get people talking to each other. So and so did this, so and so said that. Come be in my little group, and you know, we don't like them lot. I've seen that happen a couple of times, which is why I've like totally changed up the way my community works now, and how I'm way less involved in it as a result of sort of going through those things. If ever I got involved in something on a different level again, I don't know what that could be. Maybe some sort of like new game comes along, a new trend in the future. Minecraft's not really a thing. I might be in a position to sort of join a community on that level again, and that could be fun and interesting. But as of right now, it's like just probably not going to happen, basically. Hightail, says Thegley. Yeah, maybe Hightail. I feel like, obviously there's the hype, you get excited and then the hype can die down, but in all the time we've been waiting for that game, some of its like flaws have already, I think, shown itself, and it's going to be quite different from Minecraft. I say flaws, let's say differences. I think building in Minecraft is going to remain better. Hightail looks too polished to feel good. Minecraft is kind of not great by default, which is important because when you go and build, you can make things look really good. When all the blocks and the world itself is like beautiful and amazing, and then you go and build like a square flat house that's not as good as the prefabbed stuff in the world, I feel like that could be kind of counterproductive in the creative aspect of the game, right? Like, top builders are really going to accelerate with that stuff, but for the average player it's going to be more difficult. The average player, when you build something in this world, it kind of looks great, whatever it is, because you built it and it's different and often better from the default Minecraft stuff, right? So I think the game's going to struggle a little bit in that area. Also, it kind of looks like it might struggle with technical stuff as well. It doesn't have a redstone system. Not really sure what the challenges are for building farms. So if it's going to directly compete with what Minecraft's got, it's not got two of the biggest things that appeal to me in Minecraft, the way that you build and the way that you make farms and technical stuff. So Hightail might not really be a thing for me in the end. I obviously hope that it'll be a thing, and want it to succeed. It'll be great to have, you know, another block-based game that offers something, but now that we've had time to let what we've seen settle in, it just, I don't know, it doesn't feel like it will be offering what Minecraft offers. It feels like it's going to offer something different. Stefan RBK is here for 19 months. Did you miss the Mumbo prank again? You did. Oh, right at the beginning of the stream we pranked Mumbo and it was amazing. Well, that's not the zoom key. Amazing. Oh, yes, it was. You can ask anyone in chat. They'll tell you how unbelievably amazing that prank was. We got Jerky here with a donation saying, thank you for venting your feelings on recent events. It feels very soothing for me, who wants to vent but does not have a platform to vent on. Yeah, dude, I know that feeling too, though, because, you know, I like listen to podcasts and people talk about stuff that you want to talk about, and it's a good way to, yeah, to connect and to have that sense of release, I guess, or, as you put it, being soothed, I guess. But yeah, thank you for the donation, dude. Appreciate it. And thank you for listening. Have you ever thought about playing Hypixel on stream, says Cakes Likes Cake? Well, you know, I do this on stream and on YouTube, so any game has the possibility to be something that I stream or not, right? So it's not something I've intentionally thought about, but if the game comes out, there's a very significant chance it will just get streamed at some point. I feel like Minecraft evolves so much for a new player or someone that never played the game. It's a bit hard or rather discouraging to play. What's your take on that? I think that might be a perception issue. I feel like it can be easy to feel overwhelmed by stuff sometimes, and you've got to remind yourself just to do things one step at a time. I think you can have all sorts of opinions about how Minecraft has evolved over time, how it once felt, what it feels like now. But the reality is it's been just such an enormous success, like an absolute phenomenon. It's a cultural phenomenon, this game, basically, which is remarkable. And it's changed the shape of the gaming industry and culture and how we consume media. It's been a huge part of that, whether it caused it or it just happened at the right time or it's a bit of both, you know. That's a big debate. Maybe it's a subjective thing as well, but it's undoubtedly tangled in the middle of this big change. And I think that the game has gone in a great direction. The things that make me feel like it's gone in the right direction are the ease of doing big things, like shulker boxes, faster tools. There was a time where you didn't have enchantments or beacons. Anything that aids creativity in this game is wonderful, I think. And maybe you can go too far with that. Maybe you can make it too easy. But I always feel like any form of making what I'm doing in this game easier is welcome. If they found a way to make filling in a lake like this with dirt quicker, it just gets me to my end goal a little bit sooner. And this is a game where the end goal never seems to run out. So let's just fly up, okay? Let's imagine Minecraft is twice as easy. Okay, what does this place then look like? What do you think I would have done? Would I have quit playing in this world in twice the amount of time that I'm going to play in it? Or would we have twice the amount of buildings, twice the amount of farms, and just a more amazing base? What does this base look like compared to Season 1 of Hermitcraft, Season 2, 3, 4, 5, right? The enabling of better creativity with stronger tools, things being sped up, access to materials, that's just made this game better and better, in my opinion. And sometimes I feel like they get it wrong a little bit, you know. With the piglin bartering, I felt that was really overpowered, and I worried that, you know, not grinding for gravel would be a problem, but like actually that's pretty awesome. I think it has eliminated the need to make multiple farms, which is something I think that's actually where my criticism is still the same. Getting ender pearls, yeah, you need ender pearls in the nether to make the nether more accessible, but it kind of replaces several farms all at once is the problem. But introducing gravel, initially that was my example to say what was wrong with it, and I realised, nope, gravel's the one that's really good, right? Like, I don't have to go out into the world just to grind gravel like I do sand in the desert. That's the next one that we need. We need sand as a drop. No one's really going to miss ripping out sand from a desert hours on end. When they drop from the husks, dude, all this concrete, you know, that we got right here, look at it, okay? If I had a husk farm dropping sand, and I didn't have to grind for these towers can be 20% bigger. I can have 20% more towers. There's another 2 towers all of a sudden because I didn't have to do all that grinding for sand. You know? I feel like there is an element of this game where grinding is important and fun, but like it is a barrier to creating, and creating's amazing. And like, it's weird because playing in creative mode isn't the same as survival, so there definitely has to be a balance that could perhaps go wrong. But so far they've never really, you know, stepped wrong on that balance, right? Like, this game's got it. It's got the balance down. It's incredibly fun. You can play in a world for years and just build all the things and keep building and having fun. Jeez, that was like a bit of a waffle right there. Bit of a waffle. Oof. Draftmorg has a data pack on his server where husks drop sand. If I had a evil angel, if I had a you know, a place to play this on my own rules, on my own terms, I'd probably go with that. I would probably go with that and make a husk farm, you know. We got Toko and Clank gifting a sub to Snuffkin. Thank you ever so much, Toko, for gifting the sub, supporting the community. I appreciate it. We got Tor here of a donation saying, "Hey X, just saw your Slow Rush review. I'm so happy you like Tame Impala. I saw them live in 2019, one of the best concerts of my life. Keep up the grind. Thank you, Tor, for the donation. I appreciate it. It is an opportunity for me to plug... well, that's my YouTube channels, isn't it? Hey, I launched a channel about music. If you didn't know, go check it out. That one is actually on there, isn't it? The Tame Impala. So I write music blogs, and then some of those make their way to my music channel. Anyway, go check out my channels if you haven't seen them before and you like anything I do here. And while you're here, hit that follow button as well. And also, if you want to read my music blogs, you can go to the Google, you can search Xisuma music blog, and I'm going to try and write every single day for January. So far, I've held that up. That's 7 in a row. Plus a couple from December, so like 9 in a row at the moment. And I've got like loads of records lined up, and I'm really looking forward to just listening to them and then like getting some thoughts out there. I find it really therapeutic just to write. Like, it's therapeutic to get my thoughts about music out, for me, just because I love it so much, but like, it's also just a really nice activity to write and put words together. You know, I try to be a little bit poetic and descriptive here and there, and that's really like, just a nice activity. I left the channels up. Oh, I pressed the button on my Stream Deck, but it didn't register. Stream Deck's really great, but the button pressing is a bit finicky. Sometimes it double presses, sometimes it doesn't press at all. It's a bit of an annoyance, but it is what it is. What do you think and know about how food animals are treated? Are we talking about factory farming? I am not for factory farming. However, in the current situation, the meat that I eat is factory farmed. Most likely, pretty sure it is. I do eat meat. I don't eat a lot of meat, and usually I would have got it from my local farm where I know they haven't come from factory farming. I mean, it's just cruel. Like, animals suffer. Why would we want them to suffer for our diet? I get that. Totally get that. I also believe that there's nothing bad about eating meat particularly. It's part of our evolution. And so I'm not keen on the sort of nonsense that tries to wrap this idea that eating meat is cruel with unhealthy. That I don't agree with. Cruel? Yeah, it undoubtedly is. Because you know that animals feel pain. And you treat animals differently. We do this with people as well. We can compartmentalize people. I mean, I don't want to take this to a dark place, but everyone here knows what's happened in Nazi Germany in the past. Like, people can be led to see people differently as not being equal or level with them. And we do that with animals as well. Like, when you eat meat, you're probably not thinking about your puppy dog or your cat, right? And thinking of a creature that you love and care for, and that is your friend or your family, however you perceive it. You're probably not thinking of the animal within that context. Right? Does that make sense? I think it does. You kind of look at it like, you know, you're sort of removed from it. You're removed from the idea that this was something that, you know, once lived. That's why I kind of have like a fair bit of respect for people that hunt. Now, again, like, this is one of those things where in the community of not eating meat, hunting is like very frowned upon and agitated towards. But I kind of look at it like, I totally missed BOO coming on. Just noticed that. I kind of look at it like, you know, hunters... I don't think a lot of hunters are people that want to be cruel to animals. And having listened to podcasts with hunters and learning about the culture and whatnot, a lot of it's got a lot to do with like the respect of reality and an appreciation for nature. Like, modern society disconnects you from like your rural ancestry where we did have to hunt and gather to live. And so not all hunting is cruel. Like, some of it can be spiritual and like a connection with nature and reality, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I don't think there's as many people as some might think that are like, you know, yeehaw, gun-toting, let's go kill some animals for fun. Like, fox hunting comes across like that over here in British culture, and I can't stand it. Can't stand like the idea of hunting for sport. But like, if you go on like a camping trip out in the wild and you know, you hunt a deer to feed everyone, something spiritual about that. Technically, we don't have to do that anymore. But, You know, that was once the ways, right? That was once the ways. It was once the ways. There we go. All the farms in the UK have strict laws that are usually from normal farms. Know what Peter shows of somewhere of Middle Eastern country with less laws or care for animals. So I can't vouch for everyone here, but the meat here in the UK is likely from animals that had a good farm life. I gotta check you on that one. Like, there is, like, okay, so the laws you're talking about, I'm going to guess, talking from a place of ignorance, but I'm going to guess it's more so about if you have animals being raised on a farm, here's how you treat them. Okay? There's probably laws around that. But there is absolute factory farming taking place here in the UK, and factory farming in itself is generally cruel. And you want to be a bit wary of those labels they put on the meat packaging. You know, they like to put pictures of farmers and smiley animals on it, which is not exactly an accurate representation of where your meat just came from. Vegetarian meats, says Killer Don. Some of them are really great. I picked up this, I thought it said vegan jerky, but it was veggie jerky in Sainsbury's a couple weeks. Oh, that reminds me, I've got to make a shopping list for click and collect. That's important, putting that on the post-stream list. So, I got this... Okay, this is... Try that. So yeah, I got this, what I thought was vegan jerky. It's actually just veggie jerky. And I like meat jerky. Meat jerky's really nice. And, you know, I thought I'd just try it. And it was scrumptious. I loved it, the taste of it. It was pretty similar to what jerky tastes like with meat, but not. Here's the thing, like, it's food. It can taste a variety of different ways. And just because something doesn't have meat in, doesn't mean it can't be tasty. A lot of my favourite food that I eat doesn't have any meat in. I absolutely love a good salad. In fact, the last few salads that I've made, fresh rocket lettuce, some tomatoes in there and peppers and beetroot, and then I've been eating that with some cottage cheese and grated mozzarella, and it's just gorgeous. I absolutely love it. It doesn't have to have meat in. Sometimes I have salad with meat in. Crafted Jedi says, I can't support you anymore, X. The fact that you're sitting centrist on the fence is just abhorrent to me. There is no right side when it comes to either Trump or everyone else. If you're not willing to stand for the clearly correct side, I can't stand in good conscience to support you. Fair enough, dude. Fair enough. If you want to see it that way, go right ahead. I personally feel like seeing it in that way, in the you've got to stand here or there, that to me is the problem. Because when you have to stand here or on that side, you forget how your worldview is shaped by the information you're sent to, how the people on the other side are formed and have opinions based on different sets of information. And there's no cross communication, there's no talking to each other, it's just die on your hill. I think he was joking, says Chryas. If it's joking or not, I know it's well and truly possible for someone to think and feel that about what I'm saying, because that's what I see all the time, right? When you engage with the world out there. And, you know, if that's what they want to do, I'm cool with it. I'm fine. If you don't like what I have to say, that's cool. You know, there's a lot of places you can go listen to what you want to hear on the internet. I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. But that's my take on that kind of thinking. Okay, I get that at some point, somewhere, you have to kind of point to what is right or wrong. I'm not a person making a law or have an important or responsible role to society. So for me, it's like, this is where discussion happens. If it were if I got put in a position of power tomorrow, right, I would have to really very seriously consider everything that I say and think about how that would affect law and what would be wrong and right. It would just be a totally different thing. But in the realm of discussion, what I'm getting at is that we need to talk to each other. We need to be able to see eye to eye and get along. For all of us that just have opinions on stuff and aren't lawmakers or in important institutions that function society, we need to talk to each other. That's what I'm saying. essentially. You can have an opinion and be open to information, says Queen GG. Exactly, exactly. And I am open to information. And you know, like I said earlier, I went and spent a little bit of time looking on Breitbart and some right-wing news sources, and they're putting, while this event is happening, they're not condemning it, they're putting the microphone on the people that are there and letting them talk, because they're perceiving the events entirely differently. They fully believe that the election is rigged and wrong, and that this is a moment where they are trying to show the world that something corrupt and wrong is happening. Right? Again, you know where I stand. I almost don't need to say it. I don't believe the election was rigged. I don't know anything really about how elections are managed and run and certified, but I've spent some time watching informational videos about the processes that go into this stuff, and I don't feel like I would be a qualified person to come along and say if these elections are rigged or not. But there are a lot of people that don't think that first when this information about it being rigged or not is spreading around. It's not the first thought, is what am I ignorant to? Can I trust this news source? It's not the first thought. So these other news sources are looking at this like an event that is affirming their stance, their worldview, correcting what they think is wrong, and they're putting the microphone on these people and letting them talk. And when they talk about stuff that is so disconnected from anything I've heard. Like one of them that I was listening to, the guy's saying, like, and he's talking fast and going through a lot of things, and saying that, is it Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House or something, works with Antifa and runs Black Lives Matter and all this stuff. And I'm like, I've never heard this. I've never heard this in any of the circles that I get my information from. And it is just radically different. Now, the knee-jerk reaction is always to be like, you're wrong, right? But then what's that person going to do? Oh, sorry, I'm wrong. No, that's how we get divided. We need to communicate and listen with one another and understand where these people are getting this from, because I've never heard anything of the likes. So it's completely alien and bizarre to me. But, you know, as the guy that I was listening to, that one guy waffling on, he started talking about some other stuff that then I could relate to. Talking about corruption and power imbalances. Some things, I can't remember the specifics. But, you know, this is the thing, like, if we talk to each other, we could find common ground, and that might be a better way to get past these problems than continuing the old shouting matches and slam dunking at one another. Anyway, it's, you know, it's extremely tricky to talk about this stuff without it then just getting all pushed into those camps of either side, right? And, oh, they're just talking nonsense and all this sort of stuff. It's super tricky to navigate. Scravy says, I think you shouldn't judge people for their thoughts, but rather educate them about your own. That's a really great, I like that, yeah. And I weren't judging these people. Again, I try and look at the emotion in these people and see the humanity. Like, I think these people that think the election have been stolen, I think they genuinely believe it, and that's emotionally difficult to live with. Just imagine it worked the other way around, right? What if like everyone came out and said Trump won the vote, and then there was tons of suspicion around how certain things have been handled or whatnot. Like, then all of a sudden you could flip the scale, and what would be common between both sides is how it would feel emotionally. And emotions are what drive a lot of us and what connect us and is a big part of our humanity. I'm going to run out of leaves for this whole bit, aren't I? But you can't just believe something to be true without a shred of evidence. That's delusional. Yes, yeah, okay, but we're living in an environment where what evidence is very questionable these days because of the nature of our media being so fractured. We don't have shared common sources. If you go back to when things were less divided and we had one news station and that told us all the facts that we agreed on about the world, you can run the same sort of reasoning and questioning about it. Like, can you really trust that? You know, they say that science did this and that, but can you really verify it? You're not a scientist. Can you go into the lab and recreate these experiments? We have to have some form of authority and agreeing to trust other people to make progress. There has to be that. That's been exploited and hijacked by social media. Now all of a sudden there are less hands controlling what is official, what is legitimate, and therefore all kinds of information can just spread like wildfire, regardless of truth or not. The try to make it less about like you're wrong and you're listening to lies, and just try and see how you could be listening to lies and whatnot too, because it's the nature of the environment that's causing these problems, and the environment is social media and the internet and how information works and spreads on it, right? X, when is season end? Please tell us. This season ends before season 8 starts. Dang, I just revealed it. Oh man, now we know it's going to end. Whoa. Naffin MC's here for 12 months. Alt Key here is here for free. Purple VG is here for free as well. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying the stream. GCSEs and A-levels are cancelled. I didn't get to read the full extent of your message. You're asking what do I think about that. You know, whatever disruption happens to the education system during these lockdowns, during this pandemic we're experiencing, I just hope that as we move forward, our leaders, our decision makers can accommodate for this and make sure that these people are not left behind by these events, right? And to be fair, I'm a fair bit worried that I don't know. I just don't know how things are going to turn out. I don't know who these people making the decisions are in our government that say what and when happens within the education system. I just hope that they know that whatever disruptions happen have got to be amended for. And it might take a lot of resources, and it might end up, you know, taxpayer money going involved and all that kind of stuff, right? But I think it's what should happen. It's the right thing to do. Education is there to better everyone, to try and give people the tools to flourish within society. We don't want to leave anyone behind on that. We want to make sure that everyone gets brought along. So, you know, with people missing out on these key exams and whatnot, there needs to be proper compensation or adjustment for that. There needs to be that moving forward. I also now need more oak leaves. If Iskal was on, I'd ask him for some. Maybe let's fly around a little bit and just think about what else needs doing. I do actually have a list. Oh yeah, so I got a load of sand, and I was thinking it might be time to start tidying up this area between me and Corrales, because I know Papa K wants to build in the area. He doesn't want to turn this into a desert though. What I'm going to do over here is extend the desert probably like around here somewhere, and chop down the trees and make the desert out the front here bigger. We won't do that today, but since we're pivoting, let's go grab some sand, get rid of this. Going to tidy up some areas over there a little bit. Probably going to demolish that pyramid, because actually we should keep the pyramid and try and transform it or something, but yeah. Anyway, we'll do a little bit of tidying up work around here. That's generally the idea. Just shear them from the tree, says Ellen O'Brien. Actually, yeah, maybe we'll just get oak leaves now instead of doing this, because I've got to do it at some point or another, right? And I guess I just got to grow a bunch of trees and get the oak leaves. Cavalier says, the base has seriously grown. You've been away for a few months. It looks great. Thanks. Yeah, I've just been chipping away at it. I'd actually kind of got distracted from the base a little bit recently. Doing this, for example, over here, but kind of getting back to it now and like really feeling kind of motivated to push on and make this space bigger and better. Looking at extending it into the desert, which is why I want to tidy that up a bit. We got Thomas Noai 24 here with the Prime. Thank you so much, dude. Appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Watching Xisuma and listening to Drake, says Kano. Has Drake got a new record out? Also, why are you not listening to the old sorcery in the background? Jeez, it's playing right now. You know, I don't mind Drake's music. I tune in and listen to a record every now and then. I gotta say it though, I find his voice to just be one of the most... I don't want to say bland, because it's not like dull or anything. It's just, it just sounds so generic. Like, a lot of the time a Drake song comes on shuffle, it takes me a while to figure out who's rapping. Even though I've listened to a fair bit of his music. I just find him so kind of like middle of the line. There's not a lot of like flavour or distinguishment. The music right now is a bit depressing, says D-Crafter. Ah, see, I don't find this music depressing at all. This music is like adventurous and dark and mysterious. I tell you what's depressing, listening to Papa Roach. Oh. I wrote a music blog about Papa Roach, his album Infest. If you want to know a little bit more about me and hear a bit about that, go read it. I assure you it's an interesting read. That album is just like tied to a tumultuous time in my life, and when I go and listen to it, it's almost unbearable. But like, it's not just like the fact that it's linked to a period in my life. Like, his lyrics, I think I managed to phrase it really well in the blog, but it's like, it's wallowing in pain with no sign of relief, positivity, uplift in any direction. It's a real wallow in your own misery record. So many of the lyrics are just down on my luck, down on my luck, down on my luck. And listening to it again as a little bit of a experiment was just kind of painful. But what I am looking forward to is I'm going to listen to Love, Hate, Tragedy as well, because I realised Infest is an album that I go back to and curiously listen to every now and then and shudder a little bit and enjoy it in other places. Whereas the Love, Hate, Tragedy record that they released after that, I ate that up when it came out. But then maybe 1-2 years after it came out, I never listened to it ever again. I started listening to Dimmu Borgir and extreme metal, Meshuggah, Emperor, all that kind of stuff. And I just left that album sort of just behind. Like, I'd never listened to it again, so I thought, it'd be kind of curious to fire that one up. I think I can remember a couple of riffs and songs. I remember the tone being a bit more emo than this sort of like wallow in your own misery type vibe that the other one had. Okay, I was about to grab some shears, but actually we got hose. We got hose now. The hose knows how to get the leaves. The leaves and the hose. There's a joke there, maybe there's not. Maybe there's not, actually. Mad Pro says, first time attending one of the streams. Well, welcome, dude. Is that a tactical tickle? I don't remember throwing an ender pearl. Wait a minute. Am I actually seeing its name tag? Oh, I said, how did that get? Has Etho been back round again? Has he just come round and put another one in? No way. That could have not existed there, like, for months on end. He must have come back round. So, wait, some people are saying it's B-Dubs doing it now. Oh. Oh, don't... Oh, he's got a new employee, the trainee. Oh, man. B-Dubs did it, eh? Great. I don't want tactical tickles in my base. Oh, what are they up to now, eh? What are they up to? Jeez. I got rid of all of those, I think. I think I did. He's the delivery man. Okay, I got it. I got it. I understand. Bernie is over, says Cyrus. Oh, I need them for my own jungle now, you know. Of course, that's the way it'd work out. Spend hours getting them all for Iskall and then being like, I need them now. There we go. Hey, wait a minute. B-Dub's like logged in earlier today. He might have done that while I was streaming, which, by the way, if you're a hermit trying to lay down some tactical tickles, having some intel on where the other hermit is not a bad idea. I wonder if he... Because we flew in there earlier and there weren't one, right? Or maybe there was and I didn't see it at that point in time. Who knows? Who knows what's going on? Scar has a shop for this. He does, doesn't he? He does. I could just go... Should I just go buy some and support the economy? You know? That's how you beat the terrorists, kids. Go shopping. Some of you know what I'm referring to. Jeez. That was a bit of an obscure one in political history. Oh, apparently he's out of stock. Oh, Scar. Scar. Out of stock. Unacceptable. Let's get back to business then. What is your opinion about red blood cells? Oh, don't get me started on red blood cells. I'm all about those blues. Go blues! Blue blood cells in the house. Sneaky red blood cells. Oh. Oh, roaming around in my body, are they? Circulating oxygen and other things that my body needs, I think. Are they now? Jeez. Jeez Louise. He's been out of stock so long, B-Dubs is trying to repo it. Repossess it, that's short for it. I love this music, says Aliazarin. I'm glad you do. Go check out Old Sorcery on Bandcamp and support them if you like it. Same for all the other artists we stream here. Lord Leviticus, Orang, Crinkles, C418, they're all on Bandcamp. That's kind of where I like to get my music from these days. It's just got that kind of like old school record shop vibe to it. Everscar says, as someone who's made up of red blood cells, I am personally offended. Did I just offend everyone in chat? Whoopsie. Whoopsie, just you know, just offended the entire population with my hatred of those red blood cells. Ooh. Oh, I got opinions about those red blood cells, I do. I got opinions about them. I best keep them to myself, though. Let's go sleep in a bed. There we go. I'm still waiting for the B-Dubs, B-Double-O Corrales build you started in Season 1. Oh, the build-off. Yeah, I was kind of sad that never happened. That was going to be awesome, but never took place, did it? Minecraft's such a different game now. I don't think like a build-off would kind of be the same. Like, because builds are just so much more intense and bigger these days. If you tried to do like a little mini build-off challenge, it's like, well, what's the limit on this thing? Because, you know, you've seen B-Dubs and Corrales are two of the most all-out people on this server. Well, with the skills they have, it wouldn't be even close to what would have been back then. Yeah, it wouldn't have been close to what would have happened in Season 1, no doubt. Like, it would be on a new level, but that's kind of the point. I think, like, when building was a little simpler, I think a build-off could have worked well. I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking nonsense. Like, maybe there's no reason they can't have a build-off today. I mean, we've had, like, several build-offs take place. Right, like there was the Season 6 build-off with the really tall buildings. That was pretty awesome. The Puka says, I think the build-off should be like the one ZF and Tango had with random blocks and limited quantities. Oh yeah, definitely has to be controlled in terms of quantity. Yeah, like equal supplies and all that. I think they've got to have the same starting point, really. Oh! What is your opinion on Dream SMP? In my opinion, it's too much footage for me to watch, but its fame is well deserved. I haven't watched any Dream SMP, so I really don't know too much about what it's about, but I know it's another big Minecraft thing taking place, I guess. Season 7 New World Height Tool Build-Off. New World Height? I think that might be a Season 8 feature, if you know, the way the game is developing means we can have bigger build limits and all that. It's a scripted SMP, says Arilla. Yeah, I don't really watch much Minecraft content, so I wouldn't really know, but yeah, I know Dream's like a big person in the Minecraft world. Why not the smallest build off? That's another way to do it, right? Like, you got a small space, who can build the best thing in it? That might be a way to let people use whatever materials they want. Because then you don't have to do a big grind. It's not like, hey, build whatever you want, and someone goes and builds, like, something with some fancy materials. On a big scale, you know? Have I ever tried speedrunning? The recent Clash of the Creators thing we've been doing is kind of like that. That's more competitive Minecraft, but you do have to be speedy. It doesn't really appeal to me. Speedruns have never really been that interested. I've occasionally enjoyed one. I tell you what, there was a speedrunner I used to watch before Minecraft speedrunning was a big thing, who used to play the super hostile maps as quick as they could. And I love the way they edited their videos and themed it. So they would play with this Doom resource pack, and then they would edit the videos like you were playing Doom, so you get like the key cards instead of the wall, and there was just all this like built-in editing to the speedrun that really made it next level. So it wasn't just about what they did in the game, it was kind of about how the video became a bit of a product alongside that was really fun to watch. But yeah, I watched a few of theirs like way back when, and that was kind of it for me in speedrunning. I find it interesting, like, what trends just become popular all of a sudden. I would have never have guessed speedrunning, because it was a thing a long time ago, right? Like, and then you kind of expect something like that maybe not to make a resurgence. But it has done, it would seem. Okay, I think I want to put like one, if I can grow it, just here. Actually, it might be a bit close. Looks like it's going to be a bit close. Oh, I was just about to give up. Do I want that? Kind of think I don't. Yeah, no, that doesn't look very good. Ah well, we'll ditch that. Do I got an axe? I don't got an axe. I don't got an axe. Proper English. Oh, Vets has got a new thing? Says Latin Ignition? Please tell me more. I am intrigued. I am intrigued. Vex has got something new. Is it super hostile or something different? Please tell me more. Let's put these logs on the ground now. I've got very fond memories of those super hostile maps. We even like resurrected some and played them on Livestream a few years ago. I seem to remember we like completed one of them and it was really fun, but then other ones like just weren't balanced properly. Super hostile Delania. Is that what it's called? Dang. Modded super hostile. I do know that he did some stuff with server SMP, right? Oh, sorry, when I say server SMP, what I mean is like he did like super hostile online. And I kind of remember seeing it but not being that interested in it. I kind of liked the single player experience a bit more. So I never really checked it out. The leaves, you pick them up, you place them down. It's an RPG, okay. Is it finished? Like, can I go play it, or is it a work in progress? Because I could certainly go check it out. Any podcast recommendations? Says Padaka11. What podcast? I listened to a really good one the other day. Oh yeah, I recommend Star Talk with Neil deGrasse Tyson. Them talking about chess. So if you go subscribe to the RSS feed of Star Talk Radio, as it's called, you should see it. It's like Game Theory and Gambits, I think it's called. That was a really great episode. I love the humour in it. It's always like a bright, warm podcast with lots of laughter and really fascinating stuff being talked about. And that's one of my favourites to listen to. lots of Star Talk fans in chat. I love Disney podcasts, says Fancy Flamingo. Really? You should go listen to Scar then if you love the Disney podcasts, because Scar's got his own podcast that he's rocking, doing the Disney talk. Twitch Rivals is a bit like speedrunning, says Lewis Booty. That's what I was saying earlier with competitive Minecraft, right? That's the closest thing I've got to speedrunning. What is a podcast for someone who has never listened to one before, says Luck B. You know, I would recommend trying anything, really. Maybe just search for stuff relevant to your interests. If you've not done podcasts before, it's like listening to a fascinating radio show about a topic you're interested in, right? People talking through. Sometimes you're listening to experts or just opinions on stuff. There's podcasts that are more drama, chatty, casual, hangouty. You know, you've got to go search and figure out what you like, really. For me, I like thought-provocative, scientific sort of strands of things. So, for example, I don't really listen to podcasts about Minecraft or computer games. Doesn't really interest me in that way. But I'll listen to podcasts about, you know, the universe and reality and philosophical questions. Jeez, Jace, learn to talk, X. Come on. Music feels loud, says Ilawu. It's the same volume it always is, and after adjusting it many times in the past, I've kind of settled with this as being the volume that seems to incur the least amount of comments about volume. So that's why it is where it is. There we go. There we go. There we go. By the way, 2,500 peeps are watching. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Be sure to hit that follow button here on Twitch. I didn't even post a video to my YouTube channel. I actually wanted a lesser audience today because it's going to talk about stuff that I know some people don't like to hear, and there was going to potentially be a bit of chaos in chat. So I didn't post a video on my YouTube channel. Glad to see so many of you coming in though. Thank you. Antonio 4230 here with the 31 months. Appreciate it. Do you know about the Great Leap Years podcast with Stephen Fry? I don't. I've seen some of Stephen Fry's podcast adjacent stuff and never really got pulled into it, but I'm always down for a recommendation, a suggestion. You never know what you're going to get pulled into, so it's worth trying out stuff. Like recently I've discovered a couple of new YouTube channels. I think I found like 4 or 5, and just been finding some really interesting content. Watch this video about like viruses that once affected the internet back in like 2004, and like how they worked and who was behind them, and it's just totally fascinating. I love finding some little thing you didn't know that you were going to be interested in. I also found that Simon of what are the name of his channels? One of them's Bio something. Well, he's got Mega Structures, he's got the Bio channel, and a couple others. Anyway, YouTube just like randomly recommended to me this video with him in the thumbnail, and I was like, has he got another channel? And I think it's something like Today I Learned, or I Didn't Know This Before, something along those lines was the name of the channel. Biographics, that's the one, yeah. Simon Whistler, that's the guy. And yeah, just he's got this whole other channel, and I watched like 3 or 4 videos from it. I'm like, how has YouTube never recommended me this channel before? Like, what is their algorithm doing? Because I listen to this guy's stuff all the time. Like, how on earth did it not tell me about this channel until now? It's just like, what? Something's wrong in the system. The matrix is broken. Do you have nicknames for the Hermit? Lol, Smells Night. Smells Night? I can't think of any prominent nicknames other than maybe... Well, we all kind of operate with nicknames and call each other by it, right? So... yeah, I don't think anyone's got like an adjacent nickname. Maybe me with Shishwami and Shishwambam, but that's about it. Corrales is Papa K. Geographics, Mega Projects, Biographics, and a bunch of other channels. He's a fantastic presenter, says Calvin. Yeah, he is. He's great. And I was just kind of like stunned that it hadn't thrown those videos my way before, because YouTube's algorithm loves to show you videos to watch, right? And it's pretty good at picking out stuff you'll be interested in. And it didn't show me that one until the other day. But, this doesn't make sense. Papa K is a name for everyone. Bubbles, Brian, Shishwami, Vintage Kebab. Vintage Kebab, that's the best of them. Oh, come on, grow already. There's plenty of space. Oh, eating up all my... Oh, look at that, I've got to go get some more. I gotta go get some more. Oh, we're listening to some cryptic reciting of poetry right now. Very cryptic and dark. Mysterious. NYGHT85's here for 2 months. Night. Thank you ever so much. Appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying the mood. Enjoying the mood? Enjoying the stream. I'm reading a message in chat. Someone saying, love the cryptic mood. Oh, yeah, this side. Over here, that's what we'll grab. Old Sorcery is finished. That song title is in Finnish, says Ven Laz. Yeah, they're Finnish. And so is the poet on this track, I believe. I've researched it, I can't remember the specifics, but this is like a poem by a poet. Come on, grow! I'm going to run out of jungle leaves, aren't I? Jungle leaves? Jungle... supply. Jungle supply. My supply of the jungle is running low. Ah! Okay, we'll put the next one here. What do we do when we run out? That's the real problem. Tall one, come on. Yeah, that's more like it. We're not, you know, we don't need too many more, but like... I'm going to need more than that. I could possibly get away with like just 1 or 2 more at the front here. Or maybe not even fill that in. You don't have to make it all consistent, right? So maybe we'll just leave it at that. Which means it's time to throw down a whole bunch of logs everywhere. Technically the ones that you place like this are jungle. Which I didn't really think about, right? So probably never going to come to this spot again, so it'll be fine. From up above, all will look normal. And that, my friends, I think will do for now, and then take a step back. Make a beach. I just got rid of the beach. Actually, I didn't get rid of the beach. I made the one on the opposite side nice and tidy. This looks fine, by the way. Not really ever going to pay too much attention to that. Actually, let's put the logs back over here. I think I'll have just like 1 and 2. As we fill it all in. The way I've done it in the past is I would just fill in this, first of all, this flat level, then you see where the logs are and go back over it. So I think I'll do that this time. Killer Don is asking if I've travelled abroad. Yeah, I have. Last place I went to was, actually no, was it Rome? No. Last place I went was skiing. Last holiday I went was skiing, but I went Rome the year before. God, the years just go by. It's like, oh wow, that was what, 2018 or 19? Actually, I'm losing track. But yeah, it was some time ago. Man, when I was in Rome, I went there with this hardcore diet attitude, right? I still hadn't quite got my way all the way around dieting. Like, I was still on the losing weight slope that I'd been on for a long time. and very determined to stick to it. So I went over there with this attitude of like, you know, kind of like fasting, and I'm not going to eat anything, and you know, like obviously not anything, but not a lot. And then as soon as I had like gelato, I was like, I'm having this every day. And that was it. It was over. And then after that, I got back and I realised, yeah, a few days of eating like that is fine. Like, it's about being consistent in the long run, not every single day. So when there are opportunities to indulge and have something different and enjoy what's on offer, take them and enjoy it. And so whenever I go on holiday now, or since then, it's like I'll enjoy what's available and on offer and not worry about it. And then when it comes back to normality, go back to your regular diet. And if you need to lose a little weight, maybe you put on a bit much more than you would have liked to, then you know you can work on that when the days they go by in the normal. But when the days are not normal and you're in an amazing city like Rome, that's the time to really enjoy it. And enjoying a bit of food goes along with that really well. Had some amazing like pizzas and pastas and all kinds of dishes when I was over there. It was great. And lots of ice cream. As a compulsive overeater, I don't have just one-time food options, says Piety Manda. If you compulsively eat, what does that mean? All the time, or just you give in to any urge to eat? The thing I think helps a lot of people with, or I think can help a lot of people with eating issues or maybe exercise and whatnot, is learn to put up with discomfort. Learn to embrace a little bit of discomfort. When you can do that, when you can embrace a bit of the suck and the bit of the it's not great right now, that can go such a long way in more dimensions than just the ones that I described, because life always puts you in situations where things are difficult. If you learn a little bit of endurance for that discomfort and that not feeling so great, and be able to stick with it and go through it, then when it comes to bigger goals you have in life or things you want to achieve and do, it's generally like the biggest thing is your ability to endure that part that sucks. Because if you want to get in shape, you've got to do the hard work, all the sucky stuff. And yeah, that's just a great way of describing it for me, is the discomfort. Learn to put up with discomfort. Doing cold showers kind of like helps with that as well, you know, because they're pretty alarming. Plunge yourself into a cold shower this time of year. I've been doing it. Been having cold showers, and it's just like, oh god. It's like all of a sudden you just feel incredibly alive and alert, and as if death is lurking. We got noise in the ear from the local taco guy here for 2 months. Thank you ever so much, dude. Appreciate the resubscription. We got John the Homo Sapien here with a donation saying, do you have any suggestions for mod packs? Well, dude, I appreciate the donation. I don't have any because I haven't played any mod packs. So, unfortunately not. There's one that I want to play in the future, but it is... I can't remember the name of it. It was an idea that I always thought would be really great. I saw these Skyworld, Skyblock type modded packs, played a few as well. And I always thought, like, wouldn't this be cool if it were the other way around? Like, you started surrounded by blocks and slowly dug them away, like you're in a cave. There's actually a mod pack like that was popular a few years back. That would be like a mod pack I'd like to maybe play if I play one again. But I don't even know if I'm going to bother playing modded anytime soon. I often talk about it, but I feel like I'm well out of the loop and all that stuff. Oh, is that it? We're out. As quick as that, we've gotten through them. That's crazy right there. Have to go get some more. There he is. There's the man with the bed. Yeah, I think that's acceptable. We just about squeezed the last of that round there. Guess we got to make some more now. And I need some more jungle saplings if I'm going to grow any more trees here. The mod pack is stone blocks, says D the Crafter. That sounds like it. Yeah, that's probably the one that I would play then. Thank you again, John the Homo Sapien. Appreciate it. Cakeman937 here with a Prime. Monorain is here with the Prime, and Sea Arena is here for 5 months. Thank you as always so much for the tremendous support, peeps. Hope you're enjoying it. You still burned out from Modded X, says Hegram. I wouldn't call it burned out, just, I don't know, not terribly interested in playing it, but always curious. But the problem with Modded is that it's just been the same for so long. Just feels like the same old thing. Modded worlds never last as long as a vanilla world. It's just... Someone needs to come along and... Oh, I think I might leave that one there. Someone needs to come along and like change up the game a little bit, because Modded's just kind of gotten stale, in my opinion. In fact, I'm just going to leave that one there as well. This is how we're going to fill up the place a little quicker, right? Yeah, we'll do that. Do I have any dirt? Where am I going to grow this? Probably just... Don't want to go right over the edge. Probably in this space here. Imagine placing and bone mealing 15 by 15 saplings and making a mega tree of Iskall. There was a modded thing I played on once where you had this like one sapling that produced the most ginormous tree you'd ever seen. It like crashed the server when it grew, and then like everyone had this just enormous tree to deal with getting rid of. I can't remember what that was from. That was probably like 2014 at this point. I lived in such a tree, says Next4. Be a good idea, a good way to do modded actually would be to find one of those giant massive trees, grow it, right, and then like that's my starter base. I'm just going to dig into this tree and do that. That's one of the things with modded is like I find the nature of the game makes it a little harder to do something special with bases. I feel like you just get so sucked into a bunch of technical stuff that you never really like want to build too much base stuff, because even when you build farms and all this, you end up like ripping out walls and putting pipes everywhere. It's just a little bit more complicated than basic vanilla, I guess. So yeah, modded has like quite a few disadvantages next to what's appealing about it, so that's why I don't really end up playing a lot of it, I guess. Chisel and Bits is good for that, says that Twitch user. Chisel and Bits is like fantastic, but the issue is it's like a lot of work for a small area. So if you want to do amazing stuff with Chisel and Bits, it's a huge time sink. And I mean that can be good depending on what you want to do. For me, I kind of like building, like I kind of want my builds and the time I put into the game to show. I think this base represents that, right? Like the towers, and maybe not so much like what we're doing right now. This doesn't really get represented because all you ever do is fly over it and it kind of looks just like a natural jungle. Hey, but it's nice to have some simple, straightforward stuff like this. What I will do in future seasons of Hermitcraft, whenever Season 8 is, whenever I develop my next idea, I think I have to do it next time because I've put off doing this for too long. I've got to create a concept that is smaller scale and encourages me to spend time being creative and learning to build more. Because I really opted out, and I'm kind of glad that I did in a way this season, because I really actually like what I chose to do instead. But at some point I feel like I've got to pivot and try something different. And I was going to do that initially this season, and then I kind of jolted back to doing something more comfortable. But let's say next season, you know, I'm like, I'm not going to build a giant tower or a giant thing like that or a giant sword. The time I would take doing all of this is going to be on a small area now, and I'm going to try and make that small area look really interesting and fun. You know, go for that level, like the B-dubs interiors and decorations. Got to learn to do some of that stuff. And it takes time and effort. So my time and effort is going to be put into something different in Season 7. I want to go small but spectacular, essentially. That's a good tagline. Season 8, small but spectacular. I think that's a good way to look at it. Right, we're pretty much done here, aren't we? There is obviously more to be done, but I'm out of leaves. I'm out of patience, to be fair. I'm out of patience with these dang things. Let's whiz up into the sky and see what we did. Yeah, just looks like more jungle, right? But that's kind of what I wanted. The jungle to go all the way to the edges. All filled in so stuff doesn't just spawn everywhere. Bits of beach. This bit here is artificial. That beach is really flat. They just don't look right. So I'm going to come over here and just take out a few blocks. And then we're going to have to get a bucket of water because now the water looks kind of wonky, right? Ugh. So much work. So much effort. Oh. Oh. Oh, my poor arms. Oh, God. Filling up a water bucket. So painful. Jeez. Too much effort. Okay, that goes in there. This goes in here. That goes in my inventory. And we go back up into the sky and check out the base a little bit more. Have you seen Iscale's new mod pack? And if yes, what's your opinion on it? I checked out a little bit of the streaming, but I didn't stick around long enough to figure it out entirely. I saw Stress Monster in some sort of like challenge dungeon running around fighting stuff. That looks super cool. But that's about as much as I know about it. Let's chuck these things in here. Bam. Ladies and gentlemen, C Arena has subscribed for 5 months, and Kianis has subscribed with the Amazon Prime. Thank you ever so much for your support, peeps. As always, it is appreciated. This is the end of the stream. Please be sure to hit that follow button. And hit the raid button as well. We're going to do a raid on Pixel Rifts. Now, I want to thank everyone who subscribed, resubscribed, donated and cheered. All the people listening to me waffle. I appreciate you letting me vent. And you'll probably see it on the Xisuma Says channel soon. Anyway, thank you to all of my patrons. You can hit the raid button in chat. That's it from me. Take care. Bye-bye.